Hello, everyone. It's Rusty, your local laboratory maniac, and I'm here with an exciting video about deck building. I'm going to call this series Deck Building 101. I'm going to have it in various steps. This video is step one. But before I jump into it, I want to ask you a question. Do you remember when you first started? Was deck building something you did naturally and it was easy, or was a little difficult? And what deck did you decide to go with? How did you go about it? Well, this video explains how I did it, what resources I use, and the unique strategies I use to build decks. Now, you've seen YouTubers do videos like this before, and they do a great job. Definitely go check them out. There's so many that do it. I wanted to do my unique perspective. You don't need to be rehashing like, oh, you need removal, you need all this. This video and this series will be how I specifically do it. So let's just jump right into it. So, you know the basic rules of Magic. You know how the game is played. Maybe you bought a pre-con you've been playing with. Okay, so what is the next step for you? Of course, the next step will be you making your own deck. This increases the immersion of the game. It makes you love it more, makes you have more fun with it. So, what is something you need to do to get started? I have some resources here listed for you. Now, these are the ones I use. There's other ones, not discrediting them at all. It's more habit. I use most of these. So, what are they? First one is edhrec.com. Now, that is a great source of information. You can go there, and I'll show you some screenshots here shortly. You can go there, get ideas for decks, get cards from it. Um, you can type in your commander, see what other people are doing it. It'll tell you the price. It'll tell you how many people are playing it in these specific card and those kinds of decks. So it's a great resources, especially for new players that don't have like an encyclopedia knowledge of Magic cards. Then there's Scryfall. Scryfall is one of the best. I use it constantly. You can search a card's name, of course, but if you go to advanced settings, you can actually look. You can actually type in like specific text you might want, specific colors, creature, instant sorcery card types. You can look for flavor text. You can look for artist specific. You can look for lore specific, which I'll get into here shortly. But that's a fantastic website. You got moxfield.com or tappedout.net. Those are where I build the decks that I'm designing, and it's a great resource. You can actually click a button and it'll take you to like TCG Player to buy them, which is the next website. It actually breaks down your deck statistics. It'll tell you, hey, you have this many of this color, this many of this color, this many of this mana value, and it can really help out, break it down, especially for new player. And then where I go to buy stuff, and this is not an ad at all, I go to tcgplayer.com. I just like it better. It's cheaper than like Card Hoarder. You, it does. The only caveat is there's so many sellers. You can actually put a bulk list in. Let's say you have 100 cards for a deck you wanna buy. You could put that bulk list in. It might have a lot of different sellers, so it can kind of be annoying to track all the packages. But it is in the end a lot cheaper. Now here's a screen grab of Scryfall, one of my favorite sites to use. You can type in the name of a card in that bar there, or you can hit advanced search right there, and it'll actually bring up all the categories of a card that you could possibly think of, and you can input that. Here's some more screen grabs. You got Moxfield in the top left corner. You got EDH Rec in the top right corner. You got TCG Player on the bottom left, and you got Tapped Out on the bottom right. These sites are very good for designing and deck building, so do check them out. Play along with them. I'll be just chilling somewhere. Maybe I'm at work, nothing's going on. Maybe I'm going, just sitting on the toilet. You can go on. What I do is I'll go on Scryfall. If I'm looking up, let's say dragons, I type in dragons, pick the colors I want. I'll actually screenshot the card I want. It goes to my gallery. And when I'm done screenshotting the cards I want, I can move all the screenshots to a folder that has the title of the deck I'm building. And you can build decks pretty fast that way. I mean, I'm making decks probably a couple a week. So what themes are we talking about here? The themes I picked 5 specific things you can build around. You got your tribal, also known as kindred. You got color. You got a specific card. You got lore-based decks, and you got mechanic specific. And I'll explain all those here in a moment. So let's go to tribal, also known as kindred. Uh, there are so many tribes in Magic you can build around. Every person has their own specific one they really, really like. I got here a list of the what's that? The top 12 most popular. You got dragons at the top, you know. I was actually kind of surprised that cats and pirates are up there. But it's awesome that they are. I love both those tribes. And now you can pick a tribe that you want to build around. Some people just go like heavy into it, but I find if I'm building something else, one of the other themes, I can kind of like sneak in a few tribe support. You don't have to go all in on one tribe, but you can. It just depends what you want. So the second one is color. Now, Magic's very awesome in the terms of it has 5 different colors and colorless. You could choose which one you identify with the most. That's actually quite a popular thing for new players. They're like, I like the aesthetic of blue, so that's what I'm going to go with. Then they go find a commander for that. Then they take it that way. But people often identify with whatever color. To me, honestly, I like all the colors. So every time someone asks me my favorite color, it's so hard for me to pick. And then there's the colors you like, then the colors that fit your personality. Now, there's a YouTuber named Dice Try that breaks down all the colors, so I'm not going to do that. He does an amazing job. He has so many videos. He's great at it. So which color do you like best? Comment just down below. Now, specific card. This can come in 2 categories. That specific card, I would say 80 to 90% of the time, is a commander. People will see a commander they like and then build around that. And that is an amazing way to build. You always have access to your commander because remember, it's in your command zone and you can cast it from your command zone. And when it dies, it goes back to the command zone. So you always have access to it. So it's very reliable. People often build around that, and there is nothing wrong with that. Something I have been doing though, over the last 2 years, I would say, is building around a card that's not my commander. They refer to this often as a secret commander. Lost in the Woods is a great example. I actually have a mono green deck based around Lost in the Woods. And Lost in the Woods is a really cool card. It's a 5 mana enchantment. Whenever you attack, a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you reveal the top card. If it's a forest, you remove them from combat. So it kind of fogs creatures. The deck manipulates the top deck. It's really fun. And there's so many secret commanders you can choose from. I love the idea of secret commanders. You do have to use tutors. But so you got to pick, if you see a card that you just really like, you can build around it, whether it's a legendary creature and you want it as your commander or whether it's not. So keep that in mind. A next one I never see is lore-based decks. So Magic has storyline. A lot of people don't know the storyline, and that's a shame. But there's a lot of cool storylines in Magic the Gathering. There's a lot of cool characters in Magic the Gathering. I got a picture of Liliana here. Liliana is a character. It's a planeswalker. It's a black planeswalker, and she's awesome. I actually have a deck based around her. I also have a deck based around another character named Chandra. So these kinds of decks are actually a lot more fun, in my opinion. You're not putting all the staples in, like Generous Gift, Beast Within, Soul Ring. You can add those cards into it, of course, depending on how strict you want to be with how you build your deck. But lore specific gives you access to cards you normally wouldn't play, and in my opinion, that makes games less similar and more fun. So it's more variety because you'll find that there's actually a lot of lore-based cards that are actually good. And here, let's go to Scryfall real quick. And if you if you hit that advanced settings and scroll down, you'll actually see that there is a lore finder. You can type in Liliana, and this will pop up. If you put black cards, Liliana, this it'll actually bring up, like, for example, there's 97 cards that have Liliana in it, have flavor text of Liliana, so there's plenty to build around. You don't have to go Liliana, you go any character that you think suits you best. It's just a really fun way to build. Then you got mechanic specific cards. Now, I'll see a card, like let's say Feign Death, for example. I built a deck around this ability. So Feign Death is a 1 mana instant. It's a black card. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under your control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, I was like, okay, that's cool. And I've seen other cards like that. So I searched, hey, how many cards are like this? And there's over 20 cards that are almost identical. They usually have their own little themes for whatever set they come out with, but they basically do the same thing. So I'm just like, okay, what can I do with that? Oh, I can make a sacrifice deck where I sacrifice them and play this beforehand so it brings them back. So I have a whole deck based around Feign Death. And if there's it's not really a secret commander because there's so many cards that do this, and you could build around. There's just so many. There's like looting effects. I have a deck where I have like 20 looters. That's someone that can tap to draw a card, then you discard a card. So mechanic specific can make it kind of interesting because you're actually choosing cards before you choose your commander, and then you can choose your commander based on your color that you might want. Or just something that has an ability that could be useful for Feign Death effects. So that's the 5 themes that I specifically have identified. Is there another way that maybe you have built a deck around that I didn't list? Comment below. And if this video helped you, give it a like, give it a share, subscribe to the channel. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate your time. It means the world to me, and I hope you have a great day.